Hi, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of SCIO's On the Road Again Vehicle Modification Peer Connection Series. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we live and work on the traditional territories of many Indigenous nations across Turtle Island. While we meet today on a virtual platform, we must recognize the importance of the land and our treaty agreements. We acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territories of all Inuit, Métis, and First Nations peoples. Further, we reaffirm our commitment and responsibility to improve our own understanding of Indigenous peoples, their cultures, and their histories. Let us acknowledge our privilege and work together to decolonialize systems as we begin to engage in new ways of learning, being, and doing. Let us build relationships that honor and uphold the voice and values of our Indigenous hosts. As our Spinal Cord Injury Ontario community encompasses many geographies, we ask that everyone take a few moments of their day to find out which unceded or treaty territories you may live and work on. You can use the link www.native-land.ca to learn more. Before we get started, just a bit of housekeeping. Today's presentation will be recorded. You can change your name as it appears on your screen. Should you not wish your full name to appear, simply edit it as you wish. If you need assistance with that, please reach out using the chat function. After the presentation, there will be a question and answer opportunity. Any questions you have can be submitted using the chat function. Please click on the raise hand icon if the chat function is not accessible to you, and we will unmute you and you can ask your question out loud. The On the Road Again Vehicle Modification Series is sponsored by Silver Cross Automotive, and the sponsors and presenters of part 2 of the series are Silver Cross Automotive, Vantage Mobility International, and Adapt Solutions. And now, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. I think we're just waiting on a video. Give us 1 second.
I've been a wheelchair user since I was quite young. I was paralyzed when a drunk driver ran into us one night on our way home. Despite that, I always knew that I would want to drive. I even knew that I would enjoy it and that it would be something that defines me. I knew that because of how much I enjoyed road trips as a child. Whether it was during the day and watching the trees and lakes flick by as we would wind our way down the road, off to visit family members in other parts of the province, or late night drives where I would lean my seat all the way back so that I could look out the back window up at the stars and the moon and watch them turn in the sky as we turned through the darkness down below. When it was finally time for me to write my driver's test at 16, I was excited. I remember going to get hand controls installed into the van and beginning to learn the basics of driving in vacant parking lots or down the empty back roads. I remember the first time I drove somewhere, a relatively short 40-minute drive from our house to my aunt and uncle's house. But it was a sense of accomplishment I received from that, and freedom. But it wasn't until I was 21 that I packed my van with a bedroll, a cooler, a few little tools, and a camp stove that I truly hit the open road. It was late July, and I was headed west. Just me, my van, and no return date. I couldn't wait to drive over those mountains and make it to Vancouver Island and the Pacific Ocean. That's when I found out just truly how long it takes to get out of Ontario. That first road trip ended up being 90 days exactly. I made it to the ocean, and unexpectedly, I veered to the north and went all the way up to the Yukon and down into the tip of Alaska, seeing places that I didn't even anticipate, and wanting to still see more. But it was the snow falling in early September that finally turned me around. I had not packed winter clothes. As I left the Yukon Territory mid-September, I remember doing one snow angel and one donut in an empty parking lot, and then driving as long as I could because I knew it was going to be way too cold to sleep in my van that night. Driving represented independence, adventure, and freedom and excitement to me back then. It still does now, almost 20 years later. But what driving really allowed me to do was get out on my own and really learn what it took to take care of myself alone in the world, and how to ask for help when I truly needed it. I've learned so much about myself driving on my own or with others. It's a form of meditation for me, having time to just listen to my own thoughts, or listen to something interesting on the radio, or just relieve some stress, sing out loud to my favorite songs while cruising through the night. Navigating through new places with a friend who's frantically tilting the map at different angles, trying to find your bearings, or winging it and just driving to see where you end up, or simply driving to a weekend tournament. These have been some of my best times as I look back at my driving life. When I think about how I can get in a vehicle and drive 100 kilometers in an hour down the highway, and then think about our ancestors 100 or 200 years ago and how long and how much effort that would take them, it sure puts mobility and ability in a different light. It sure makes me happy to be alive today and lucky to be so free. With all the new technology we have every day, it has never been easier to get out and explore.
Amazing. And now we would like to please welcome Tiffany Luchik, Inside Sales Specialist from Adapt Solutions.
Hello, everybody. Let me just get my screen sharing on here. So here we go. Thank you for being present with us today. My name is Tiffany, and I'm representing the most wonderful company in the world, Adapt Solutions, today. Here we are, our building. We are located in Quebec, Canada. This is the front of the building. So if you're looking for the building to bring me at lunch sometimes, this is the one to look for. Make sure you come in the summertime because this is what our building looks like almost, I would say, half the year. We are about 15 minutes away from Quebec City. So if you want to come up here, look at the beautiful historic city of Quebec, come by, see our products, and talk to us about important things such as safety. We are all about safety here at Adapt Solutions. Safety is something we all expect when looking at mobility solutions. And when I say something we expect, I feel like it's something we started to take for granted as well as safety. You know, everyone's got their own industry standards. That's actually part of the law. So a lot of people are just checking boxes, basic boxes, and saying, oh, yeah, it's safe, it's safe. Here we take a step further. We not even just a step further, a few steps further. We go above and beyond here at Adapt Solutions to ensure safety, testing, all those things. Adapt Solutions is proud to be the first seating manufacturer to participate in the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards Compliance Review Program in the industry, which means that we are not just checking off the basic boxes, like we are doing all the testing. I didn't even know that we that was possible before I started working here and learning really more in depth about it. Adapt Solutions, proud leader in safety and compliance in our industry. We have participated in NMITA's compliance review program since 2011. Honestly, when I think about 2011, I think, oh, that was a couple of years ago, but it's really not. It was about 10 years ago, so we've been doing this for a little while. Adapt Solutions, the first seating system manufacturer to participate. We are also associated with NMITA, quality assurance programs, lots of good stuff going on here. The first product I'm going to be speaking about is our Link. It's actually a very, very cool product. I've tested this product myself in the shop here, and I really don't think it gets any better or cooler than this product. I'm going to show you a short video of our beautiful fearless leader, the CEO, Gina Lewis, who is going to talk about the Link.
Gina Lewis from Adapt Solutions. Today we're going to look at the Link, our innovative vehicle access solution. First, let's take a look at how it works. With the Link, we've integrated a safety feature into the hand pendant to prevent the unit from moving inadvertently. To activate the Link's movements, press the power button. You know that the Link is activated by the blue LED indicator light. When the Link is in motion, this light flashes. Simply push and hold the out button and watch as the pre-programmed Link glides out of the vehicle. If you let go at any time, the Link stops moving. It can be programmed to exit the vehicle and lower very close to the ground for level transfers to a wheelchair, or can be programmed to assist one to a standing position by lifting up at the end of its cycle. This feature may be very useful for a client that stands to transfer or simply needs a little assistance getting in and out of their vehicle. But this is not the only feature that makes the Link stand out. It is important to notice that the Link always uses the vehicle's original seat. This means you get to keep all the comfort and style, the recline function, not to mention all the manufacturer's integrated safety features, meaning all airbags, seat position sensors, weight sensors, and seatbelt anchorages. The Link is available in the driver and passenger's position. Take a moment to notice how much space and legroom this innovative product offers. Because of the design of the Link, it optimizes space and offers unsurpassed room and comfort. It's also nice to notice that when installing the Link, you're not compromising the space behind the Link. That's not all. The Link adds powered forward and aft adjustments to the seat, as well as a very beneficial tilt feature that allows the user to personalize their seated position. On top of that, the Link has a unique memory built right into the unit. Once the optimal seated position is found, when the out button is pressed, the Link exits the vehicle, all the while holding in its memory that final seated position. When the Link returns inside the vehicle, it returns to that last seated position. Imagine how this feature would benefit a driver. They gain the ability to return their seat to that sweet spot to drive. The Link comes pre-programmed from us, according to your specifications. However, the cycle or movements of the Link can be customized by a trained installer via an Android tablet. The Link has a 300-pound capacity and is equipped with an emergency backup. The power is supplied by the vehicle battery, and power is not drained when the Link is not in use. The Link installs using the original seat mounts and can be easily removed to return the vehicle to its original condition. The installation requires the removal of the seat base and slider tracks under the original seat. These are replaced with the Link. Installation time varies from one vehicle to another. Please use our interactive application list to see if an application is possible, and also to get vehicle-specific installation information. The Link was submitted to a frontal crash test as per FMVSS and CMVSS 208. All our products undergo a strict certification process that involves crash testing, cycle testing, and weight capacity testing. We are proud to offer a line of products that exceeds the industry standards. In conclusion, it's always important to check if the client is able to transfer safely and that the vehicle will accommodate the user's mobility device. Thanks for watching.
So that was our video on the Link. Here you can actually see it inside, installed in this Ford F-150. Actually can't really see it because it's very discreet. It's under the seat. You can see the little remote that's plugged into the side. And you can also notice that it matches everything else on the inside because we actually use the OEM stock seat for the install. Also at the top, you can see the little tag that says airbag. The airbag is, I think there's actually more than one. It will stay in the seat itself. Here we see that one of our programs, there are 4 different programs that we can do with the link. This is a stand-up feature. So customers that need just kind of a little bit of a boost to get up and not necessarily need to transfer, we do have a stand-up feature for that. Another thing to note is that we have great transfer heights as well. So when the seat is actually coming out and someone's requiring to transfer into a chair, we have some of the lowest transfer points on the market. We also have the most head space and leg room available as well. So our obsession with the OEM stock seat, we are obsessed with keeping the seats in the vehicles. We only use the seats that are in the vehicles. We do not make seats here. We make solutions for existing seats in the vehicle. Why OEM? Kind of seems like a silly question because, well, why not the OEM seat? First of all, when you keep your own seat, like I said earlier, the airbags are all going to stay there. Your safety features that are in the seat itself that the manufacturer has placed in that seat are going to stay. The active head restraint as well, super important if there's an accident, shock impact on the head, it's going to stay on that stock seat. Here we have the occupant weight sensors. A lot of more recent vehicles on the front passenger seat, the airbag will actually stay off until there is weight in that passenger seat, which means that if your seat is not there, you've taken your seat out and you've put an aftermarket seat in, those weight sensors are not going to be there anymore. The seatbelt pretensioner, the recline. I'm just going to kind of focus on this recline feature because I get a lot of phone calls in regards to people inquiring if they get to keep their recline feature, and you do. You get to keep the recline on your seat, just like the way it was out from the factory if the link wasn't installed. Comfort is another one. My seats in my vehicle are super comfortable, and it's I would like to keep them. The height as well. So height kind of has 2 points here. The first one is the transfer height. And like I said, we have some of the most unbeatable transfer heights on the market, and the height inside the vehicle. A lot of people are expecting this seat to actually sit significantly higher in the vehicle because the link is installed underneath the seat. But for short people like me, bad news, it's not. It's going to stay almost the same as the stock height. I have not seen one that is over an inch in difference, which is almost unnoticeable. Look and style as well. Honestly, this is super important for me. Like in my car, I have black leather seats, heated seats, and I want to keep those things. It looks and style. If we go back and we think about the F-150 we saw in the picture earlier, it just looks nice to have all the seats uniform. They all look the same. And also, if you think back about the recline feature, the photo of the F-150 earlier, the seat is actually in the recline mode. Here, the second product we're going to talk about is the Ascento XL seat. They are kind of listed everywhere as they're listed together, Ascento and XL seat. They are virtually the same thing. A few minor changes between the two. And when I say changes, I mean improvements. We'll touch on that a little bit later. Show you a video real quick. And also there is this speedy lift that is featured in this vehicle, which is going to help stow away the chair if needed. go the Ascento XL seat. We're going to look into the differences real quick here. The first difference, on the left-hand side, we see the XL seat, and on the right-hand side, we have the Ascento. So the major noticeable difference is the motor here at the bottom. It's a little bit bigger, which was kind of hindering us from doing some of the tighter applications. Also, the top where it connects to the B pillar in the vehicle, it was a little bit bulky as well. Here you see on the right-hand side, the Ascento, it is sleek, it is slim. The motor is actually in the top where it attaches to the B pillar, and everything is smaller, which means we can offer it in a wider range of vehicles. Here, if we go on our website, adaptsolutions.com, you can look under products, whether you choose the link, the Speedy Lift, or for the example here, I'm going to use the Ascento XL seat on our website. If you scroll to the bottom of this page, on the right-hand side at the bottom, you're going to see our phone number. If you want to contact us, that is my phone number. That's going to ring right to my phone beside me, and I will answer. On the left-hand side, if we look at the bottom, we're going to see vehicle list. You can click on the little eyeball to preview it. If not, I would recommend just to the right of that, the little download icon. That is going to be a download for a PDF of our application list. All of our products are going to be listed there, all of the vehicles that they're compatible with as well. So if you're looking for a vehicle, or you want to see if your existing vehicle has anything that's compatible with it, check out on our website, adaptsolutions.com. Any of the products, scroll down to the bottom and download our vehicle list. The last product I'm going to talk about real quick here is the Power Pull. This is for converted vans that have a ramp in them. And if you want just a little boost to be able to get up that ramp, it will pull you inside. It comes with a remote and everything. This is for the side entry power pull for the side entry conversions. And we have a short video of that as well. The side entry power pull. It has a little hook on the bottom of it for easy access. Also the remote, which is going to be linked to the part that's actually going to be pulling you inside the vehicle, just like so. We also have one for rear entry conversions. And it's the same, along the same lines. It's going to pull you inside so you don't have to be going up that ramp manually every single time. That concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions at all, our website, adaptsolutions.com, send us a message, send me an email, call me, anything like that. We are happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, Tiffany. Please welcome Zachary Shirtleff, Senior Director of Marketing and Business Development from Vantage Mobility International.
Hey, everybody. It's good to see you here. I'm very excited to share some details about an amazing product today. Hopefully it's enjoyable for you to watch and learn about a little bit more. So I'm going to start off with a video of the product.
Zachary, unmute yourself, please.
Oh, I'm super excited to show that video. I get goosebumps every time I watch it because it's such an exciting accomplishment that we have made to introduce the first ever all-wheel drive accessible vehicle, a converted accessible vehicle. So I'm going to share some details about that today. If there are questions, again, you can throw them in the chat or we'll have the Q&A afterwards. But this is one of my favorite pictures of it, and Photoshop is not required. This is real snow, real mountains, no Photoshop necessary. We developed this product, and one of the first things we did with it was we took it on a road trip throughout the Southwest United States, and we found snow in Utah, which was really exciting. And my videographer was really stoked because while other people were getting stuck in the snow, he was not. So it's definitely exciting. I'm going to share some more pictures and stuff to give you an idea of the look and the features of this product. But this is the first ever all-wheel drive wheelchair van, right? So imagine all of the places that you will now be able to go where beforehand you might not have wanted to go out there into the bad snowy weather in your current van, right? That's just front wheel drive, right? And I can't imagine how many family events or appointments or whatever else were missed because the weather was a little too scary to drive through. That doesn't need to be the case anymore with the all new VMI Toyota. One of the cool things that stand out about this product, if you look right above the wheels, we have patented wheel well covers. Now, what that does is, keep in mind with a converted vehicle, we lower the floor and we slightly raise the suspension so that you can have ultimate headroom inside of the vehicle. But what that leaves behind is a pretty big gap above the wheel, which is just a dead giveaway right off the bat that it is a converted vehicle. So just like Adapt Solutions, like we also value the look and the feel of OEM, right? Anytime we can maintain that, that's a good thing. And so we developed the industry's first ever wheel well covers that give it that sleek look. And it gives it, frankly, it looks like an SUV to me. I'm a big fan of the look, but not only that, but there's function to it as well. So here's a little bit of a closer look at the wheel well covers. And there are improved aerodynamics from these wheel well covers. So you'll see some pictures there on the right that compare the two. The images on the left are without the covers, and the images on the right are with the cover. So the red, it just means for faster speed wind, right? So obviously with the wheel well covers there, the wind is able to move more quickly past the vehicle, which reduces wind noise, improves miles per gallon, and heck, they just look good as well. We've converted this to have the VMI's famous in-floor ramp. Again, it's called the North Star. So those of you that are past VMI customers or have done some research, The word North Star probably rings a bell, right? That is our flagship product, an in-floor premium quality side entry ramp system. This is another fun picture at the Salt Flats in Utah in the United States. One of the other innovations that we've recently added into our full North Star lineup is we convert our vehicles with galvanneal steel. What that means is the steel that we use for the construction of the conversion is annealed and e-coated. That means it mitigates rust. So in the event of again, snow, ice, salted roads, all that stuff, one of the worst things that can happen to your wheelchair van is rust. That'll kill the resale value and it'll make it unsafe. So not only do we provide the traditional paint underneath, under the carriage to protect you from rust and liquid, we've made the steel more fortified against rust as well. And with that, we have also the best warranty that covers corrosion as well. Here's another fun picture, real mountains, real snow, gorgeous picture. I'm a huge fan of the look of this product. The Toyota team did a very good job, as well as our engineers. We actually work hand in hand with Toyota engineers when developing this product. They give us all the designs and the engineering designs so that our engineers can have a great start to make it accessible. Now, the VMI North Star is the flagship wheelchair van of the industry, right? We are really proud to say that it has the most accessible features than any other wheelchair van on the market, right? Other accessible vans, well, typically they are an accessible Toyota or an accessible Pacifica or an accessible Dodge, right? Lots of different variations. Well, with VMI, we actually make the conversion itself feature rich. So not only is it just accessible, but it also provides other convenience features and other things that make it a quite a technological wonder. Here are the 9 things that make VMI conversions unique and different from anybody else. We are always optimizing for space, right? Converted wheelchair vans, they're a popular option because of how much room you have inside and the flexibility to either drive or to be a passenger. We've got the galvanneal steel that I mentioned. A customer favorite is our interchangeable seats. What that means is that if you are the wheelchair user and also the driver, but you have somebody with you and you want to be able to switch places during a road trip per se, this gives you the ability to take just one OEM seat with you, and then you can switch along the way. You're not stuck to only being in one position for the duration of the trip. We also have LED lighting standard. We have a Durafloor floor that is easy to clean, and it lasts for a very long time against scratches, dings, messes, and other things. Our ramp is a single piece of steel and honeycomb aluminum, and so there's very little flex, so it's easy to go in and out, especially for independent drivers with manual chairs. It's incredibly important for the grade of the angle to be low, as well as very little flex. Okay. Another couple things I want to call out here, and the Toyota has all these features. Okay, so as you're learning about these, if any of these interest you in particular, our partners at Silver Cross can give you even more detail. But we have what's called the Sure Deploy ramp backup system. If at ever time the vehicle battery dies, you do not want to be stuck inside of the vehicle, right? We have built in an independent ramp backup system that has its own battery and everything, so that in case of an emergency, you are still able to manually control the ramp so that you can egress. And then lastly, one that we are particularly excited about is a new feature called Park Smart. This is also an industry first, right? We do a lot of industry firsts at VMI because we're so focused on our customers, but this is the first ever obstruction alert. What that means is that when you are away from your wheelchair van, there are people who will at times park right next to you while you're away. And that way, when you come back, you are blocked out of your vehicle. This is especially true for independent drivers, right? So what this does is when it senses something parked next to the vehicle, it will sound an alert that politely but also sternly lets the person know that they are parked next to an accessible van and that they're blocking entry to the vehicle. And it repeats that 3 times to make sure that they get the message. So it's a really cool thing. It is a proactive way that we are actively attacking the problem of being parked out of your van, and we're really proud of it. So the new Toyota has all of these, plus a few other things that really set it apart. All-wheel drive, that's obviously a huge one. It is an electric motor in the rear. So electric means instant response, instant traction, instant torque. It's an incredible all-wheel drive system that Toyota has been getting a lot of praise about. It's hybrid, so the miles per gallon is much higher than a traditional van, and so you can go much further on a single tank of gas, which right now with gas prices, that's a great feature as well. Then lastly, those wheel well covers. And then we maintain the Toyota suspension. That's one more thing I forgot to mention. We did not switch out the suspension with new suspension. So you get the best ride quality than any other wheelchair van on the market. We've also maintained the center console so that it has a really nice fit and finish on the inside of the vehicle. Okay. So my invitation to everybody today, you now have a vehicle that can that will allow you to truly push the limits as far as where you can drive. Start thinking about all the places you'll go, whether it's on a sandy beach, wet roads, snow, in the mountains, wherever it may go, it's possible now with the VMI Toyota. So we're super grateful for the partnership that we have with Silver Cross as a primary dealer, authorized dealer for us in Canada, specifically in Ontario. And so this is their contact info. They're going to start getting these in stock soon. They've been approved by Transport Canada or TransCanada. And so they're going to start having them on their lot, but they are in very, very high demand in the States right now. And so Canada's going to start getting them. And so if this is something that you'd be interested in learning more about, then please contact our partners at Silver Cross and they can take it from there. But I appreciate your time, everybody. I hope this excites you as much as it does me. And we look forward to you experiencing this all new product. Thanks.
Thank you for that presentation, Zachary. Please welcome Luke Barrett, Automotive Consultant with Silver Cross Automotive.
Thank you. A little bit about Silver Cross Automotive. It's a company that's publicly owned. Severia is the company that owns Silver Cross Automotive. Severia is a publicly traded company on the TSX. They have all sorts of different opportunities to provide solutions of accessibility, be it vehicles or home modification needs. Silver Cross Automotive was formed back in 2016 when Shoppers Home Healthcare had an opportunity. They were looking at selling the automotive side of the industry. And Silver Cross or Severia took the opportunity to take this company under their wing and develop Silver Cross Automotive. When they acquired Silver Cross, or when they started Silver Cross Automotive, they brought with them some very high experienced gentleman who was in the industry for over 20 years, Paul Fleischman. He is still part of our company doing all sorts of excellent adaptive equipment out of our Waterloo location, the adaptation facility. Oh. Something happened here. What's going on? Sorry, something's happened with the computer here. I'm trying to get it fixed. I keep saying unmute myself. And I'm unmuted.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you, but what is going on? Okay, sorry, I'm seeming to have technical difficulties. Okay, there we go. So as I was mentioning, Silvercross Automotive started in 2016. It was acquired from Shoppers Home Healthcare Automotive Division. Silvercross Automotive has 7 locations through Canada. 4 of them are located in Ontario, 2 in Alberta, and 1 in Maple Ridge, BC. We're offering accessible vehicles, transfer seats, lifts, adaptations, driver solutions from hand controls to some very high needs AVID EMC driving controls. As mentioned, Severia is traded on the TSX. We're financially strong backed by that company who offers wheelchair lifts, home elevators, ceiling lifts, and accessible minivans, both side entry and rear entry. Our premium product line is the VMI line of products, everything from your Pacifica to the Dodge Grand Caravan to that fabulous Toyota that our friend Zach was talking about. We are very excited over this release. As everybody knows, here in Canada, we do get some pretty inclement weather, as Tiffany pointed out, where in Quebec, there's plenty of snow. Alberta and Ontario do see the same effect with our weather. So it's great to have that product, revolutionary product to say, available. We are a NMETA QAP certified company. So you can rest assured that when you get a product from us, it has been installed by trained technicians, the technicians that understand the product and can fully explain, much like all the automotive consultants, about your equipment. At any given time, we'll have 50 to 100 vehicles in stock, ranging from currently Dodge Grand Caravans, Chrysler Pacificas, Toyota Siennas. We're so excited again about the VMI product coming on board. We're anticipating receiving our first batch of VMI converted vehicles near the end of September. So that's just about a month away from now. Now, you see these 2 really neat looking vehicles on this slide. We don't only adapt vehicles that see the road. You have the really nice Ford bucket that has hand controls in it. And then we also do creative stuff, such as the side-by-side you see here. The side-by-side was adapted with hand controls. So the person who uses the vehicle obviously has no use of their feet, and they're using sure grip hand controls. This was adapted in our Waterloo facility. This isn't the only unique vehicle we've done in the course of time. We've also even done pedal extensions on a Polaris motorcycle style vehicle. Sorry, it evades me the name of it. And then we also have done tractors full for the farm and also lawn tractors with hand controls. So when you have a different vehicle that you're looking to have adaptations, ask the questions, find out, ask the experts, contact the Silvercross Automotive team. Put the question out there, ask if it's available, if it's been done. So in this picture, you see some more driving adaptation. You'll see the Tesla that has a Featherlight hand control system. And then the Toyota minivan is one that has the EMC AVID system. The EMC AVID system is a high needs driving system. What you see pictured here is a gas brake that's electronic. So they do not have to use any form of strength with their arms. This reduces the strength required to stop or accelerate the vehicles. And here we go. Again, our premium dealer, VMI supplier. This is the Toyota hybrid that Zach so eloquently talked about. Now, when people are looking for adaptive equipment, they don't always want to go to a vehicle such as a van. As vans are great, there's some people, such as this young gentleman, who was looking for something a little more tricked up, a little different from a van. He's a young man, and we gave him the opportunity to have this Dodge Ram pickup truck. This has been equipped with the speedy lift that Adapt Solutions provides. It's a fantastic unit. This is a custom application. Quite often you will see them in minivan applications. For him to get into the driver's seat, we also installed a Cento seat for him. Now, Sparrowhawk, our Waterloo adaptive division, does the ProMaster, the Ford Transit, and also the Ram ProMaster and Mercedes Sprinter for larger capacities. We're able to do both side entry and rear entry I-class lifts, which again, VMI is the supplier. They offer us a great product. This product will actually have a Wi-Fi feature where you can Bluetooth into the vehicle, into the lift, and control the lift through your phone. It also has a corded pendant, and the capacity of this lift is 1,000 pounds. We do put a smart floor in the seating. This allows us to have a modular seating system, and there are 5 locations typically for positioning of the wheelchair. With the modular seats, you can have as many as 12 or as few as 1, depends on your needs. Another adaptive equipment we offer is equipment from Bruno. Here we have the Bruno Outrider, which will dock and stow the vehicle, the personal mobility device closest to the driver through the lift you see out of the rear of the box. The cap on this truck is an Accessa top. This keeps the inclement weather we may see out of the vehicle. We at Silver Cross also add a heater to the back of these truck boxes. That way, come winter time, we can have the vehicle pre-started and warm up the truck some, so it'll help dissipate and melt the snow off the cap. It'll help keep the personal mobility device warm. And for access to the vehicle, we also have the Adapt Solution Link seat and the Bronability Turn Evo. Very good alternative solutions. We work with all sorts of funding, financing, and insurance companies. March of Dimes is being one of the bigger funding agencies here in Canada. Easter Seals offers a great program. So once again, here's one of our VMI premium products. This is a North Star Toyota. It's a 2020. This is one of the ladies that we worked with who had been involved in a motor vehicle accident. We worked closely with her occupational therapist at finding the right solution for this lady. That is the big thing. We have to work together with our occupational therapists to find the correct solutions. And Silver Cross Automotive representatives do just that. We're always working with the occupational therapist to find the best solution. These are a few other items that our parent company, Severia, offer. You'll see an incline platform lift, an elevator, and a porch lift for your home accessibility needs. And again, finding the right solution. Here is one of our ladies who has the EMC driving controls in her North Star VMI Toyota. Now, I have a little segment on YouTube called No Limits with Luke. I feature many of the products I've discussed today. I feature products that haven't been discussed today on there. So have a look at the YouTube links. It explains a lot of different things that we offer. It explains solutions, shows solutions. In the near future, I will also be adding a POV or a point of view segment from our clients. And that's actually a really interesting point, because you can hear an automotive consultant like myself talk about what their experiences are, what the vehicle and the product's about, but hearing the point of view from the people that actually use the stuff and have it is key. And that ends my little slideshow here.
Awesome. Thank you, Luke. It is now time to move on to our question and answer period. Andrea Anderchuk has been collecting all of your questions from the chat. Any questions you have can still be submitted using the chat function. Please click on the raise hand icon if the chat function is not accessible to you, and we will unmute you and you can ask your question out loud. We will also post contact coordinates in the chat box for any further questions you may have. Andrea, I will pass it on to you for the questions.
Thank you, Jaspreet. Thank you to all the other panelists. It's been a wonderful show and very informative. So well done to everybody. The first question is that I had a neck surgery. Is there a product like camera modification to see the side and rear views?
There are different applications where we can have a camera that's on the dash that will show you the rear view at all times. We also have blind spot detectors available. With the blind spot detectors, depending on the year of vehicle, you will have a little icon on the A pillar that will light up if somebody is in your path and you know not to go. We also have specialty mirrors that will show you a broader range of vision than what you have seen typically out of the OEM or the small mirror. Hopefully this answers your question. If not, I can elaborate a little more.
Thank you, Luke. The next question is, can we get the wheel well covers now?
Yes, Andrea, I answered most of the, I think all of the VMI related questions in the chat itself. But I'll do it on here too, just in case the person who asked didn't see that yet. So the all-wheel drive, the wheel well covers are available now on that conversion, right? So they come standard on the VMI Toyota 2021 model year. That's the only chassis right now that we have those wheel well covers on, but they come with it because each wheel well cover has to be specifically designed to work with that chassis and conversion combo. So we have to design it for each unique thing. So we just have it for the 2021 Toyota right now. Yep.
Can the link seat fit in any vehicle? I think that's a Tiffany question.
The link seat cannot fit in any vehicle because unfortunately we are not able to make universal applications. All of the vehicles are very, very different. There's so many things to take into consideration: seatbelt placement, steering wheel. There's so many things to take into consideration. So no, unfortunately, we can't make a universal application that can go into any vehicle. We would really have to go out, get a vehicle, bring it back here and test it over months and months and months to see how we can get it in, if we can make it fit, any modifications that need to be done to get it in there. There's just a wide variety of things that we need to consider. So no, it can't fit in any vehicle, but like I mentioned, if you go on our website, adaptsolutions.com, you can find our application list to see which vehicle that our products can fit into, are compatible with.
Thank you, Tiffany. Can Luke from Silvercross talk about the new hand control option where the link to the gas can be electronic now instead of mechanical, and its features and benefits?
I certainly would love to. There's a couple differences. There's a couple different providers. It depends what level of adaptation you need. The most common, you'll see a Weigel or a Sure Grip. Sure Grip's called a Featherlight. What they have is similar to most driver instructor vehicles. They will have the hand controls, but instead of the old-fashioned or the standard way of having a rod that goes from the hand control body to the gas and from the hand control body to the brake, they'll now do what's drive-by. It's called drive-by-wire. The drive-by-wire system mimics the original accelerator's potentiometer input to the vehicle. So when you either rock or pull back to throttle up and accelerate the vehicle, it will tell the vehicle to put 20, 30, 40, 50% fuel capacity, and you'll speed up that way. The benefit of this, in my opinion, is, and from clients' point of views too, one, you don't have a rod anymore going to the gas pedal. So you've now gained space for your legs. Quite commonly, when you had the two rods going to the gas pedal and one to the brake, there would also be a shield in front of the gas pedal and brake, preventing you having twitches and hitting the gas and accelerating when you're not expecting to. With the Featherlight hand control system by SureGrip, there's a button that can turn on and off the Featherlight accelerator. So with the system active, only the hand control has throttle input to the vehicle. The floor accelerator that was originally produced by whatever manufacturer, there is no accelerate, there is no input to the vehicle until you turn off the hand control. Then the original accelerator is active. The ones that I showed you in the slides that I had were by Avid system. What it is it gives you the benefit of not needing a lot of arm strength or movement, where we can dial in by micro movements on how much accelerate and how much brake you need, creating a zero effort accelerate and brake function. It's very good for, quite often, most people you see that are quadriplegics, they can still drive using this kind of equipment. The lady in the last slide that I showed did have this system. She was injured in an accident, and actually she was also showcased with spinal cord injury. She was involved in an accident when she was a teenager, diving, swimming, which rendered her a quadriplegic. Now, this is her third van that she's purchased, or maybe fourth even at this point, from Sparrowhawk Adaptation Facility, Silver Cross Automotive. Hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you, Luke. The next question is there a lift for a pickup that will lift a 450-pound power chair? Also, is there stops available in the pickup box so that the chair stays in one place when braking?
I would actually have to check on the 450-pound amount. There are lifts that will lift into the box. I thought 350 was the capacity. So they'll lift a power chair, a scooter, or manual wheelchair up over the bed or side rail of the pickup truck box. They do offer a stop. The reason why they have these stops is so that the arm doesn't have the opportunity to bang around, damage itself, and have the personal mobility device damaged by being able to bang around also.
Thank you, Luke. Can Tiffany from Adapt Solutions tell us if the Ascento XL seat can be installed on the passenger side of the vehicle?
Yep, so it can be installed on the driver and the passenger side in the front of the vehicle. We do have a couple exceptions, maybe one or two, but most applications can be installed on both sides. The link can be installed in the front and in the second row on a handful of vehicles as well, but the Ascento XLC on the driver and passenger side.
And Tiffany, how much approximately would that be to install?
So in regards to price, we're the manufacturer. We don't actually have pricing for these. You would actually have to find the closest dealer to your area, such as a Silver Cross. And they're going to be able to help you with the quote. It depends on the vehicle, which product you're interested in, and things like that. So it's really gonna depend on the dealer, because they're going to take into consideration the installation time and things like that. So we don't really have access to their prices.
Okay. The next question is, I'm looking for something that I can use with a walker. Are there lifts for walkers?
There are available lifts depending on the application. So when we look at what you're looking to have done, we have to look at what mobility device you're using. In your case, it's a walker. So then what type of lift, what type of vehicle. Because everything's vehicle specific, vehicle personal mobility device specific. That's where, speaking with a representative from Silvercross Automotive, such as myself, we can identify what will be suited for your vehicle, suited for the equipment you use. I have been part of an application using a walker, and the lady had a Dodge Grand Caravan, if I remember right. It's been a few years. We did use a Bruno curbsider product to help lift it into the back of the vehicle. She had the ability to wall walk down the side of her vehicle, but just couldn't get it up and in the vehicle. With that said, I also know that Adapt Solutions has the high lift. So that would be in the second row. At Sparrowhawk Waterloo, we do some modifications, as well as some of our other locations here with Silvercross. We're able to come up with the ideas for different applications, the nuances for somebody just wants something a little bit different. Our technicians are able to come up with the tweaks to make things work for you. Just got to ask the question, and we'll be there to assist you along the way.
Thank you, Luke. For the next question is, for the Toyota van, is the charging method accessible to the user? Is it easy to plug in?
I'm going to make this really easy. There is no plug-in. It is not a plug-in hybrid. So similar to a Toyota Prius, what's cool is as you drive, you have a little infographic there that shows you where the energy is coming from, where it's going. Sometimes it's the engine feeding power into the battery, and sometimes it's the battery feeding energy into the motor. So, but even though it's a hybrid, it's not a plug-in, but it still gives a substantial amount of miles per gallon or kilometers per gallon increase.
Thank you, Zachary. The next question is, do Adapt Solutions, VMI, or Silvercross publish research? If I was a researcher writing about human vehicle interaction, where could I find out more about these technologies?
So quick question back. So are you saying that you would like to maybe write in some areas where those could be published about the technology, or you're more interested in finding things to just read? I want to throw it into the chat. I just want to make sure I'm answering the right question. Read. Okay. So we do have a blog where we post a bunch of stuff in there that's helpful to the disability community. But otherwise, not a ton of like technical research based stuff. There are some good places where you can find that. Frankly, some of the best articles I've found is I've just Googled it. And then I find some good resources that have a lot of reviews and comments, and I know where the sources come from. But we do have a blog. You're welcome to read. There are a lot of articles in there. It drives a lot of traffic to our website, but there's a lot of places out there other than just our blog as well. I don't know if Silvercross does. Luke, I know they asked if it was a Silvercross resource as well, but.
When it comes to the products that we offer, we rely on our manufacturers such as VMI, such as Adapt Solutions. Both these companies do research incredibly before they bring a product to market. They are very responsible that way. They're not putting equipment out there that's inferior or inadequate for people's use. We can get information from them when it comes to how the products work and demonstrations. Our reps are always willing to come out and show you these different products when we have vehicles available that have them in there. To the question earlier also about the lift for 450 pound up into the truck box, they do not go higher than 350 at this time. Vehicles have changed so dramatically. They're making them of aluminum, which now causes a different situation with trying to lift on an awkward angle up over or through the rear of the pickup truck box. Again, also, if you want to see some of the equipment we do, my stuff is typically displayed with the No Limits with Luke on YouTube. I have probably 8 or 9 videos now that we've been working on over the last year of getting this going.
Thank you, everyone, for the answers for that question. The next question or comment is, my son's pickup is now equipped with 3 remotes. one for the adapt seat, one for the Bruno lift, and one for the topper. Can they be integrated together to avoid so many cords or linked to his phone?
Unfortunately, at this time, that is the only solution. Because they're three separate entities, we all work together in this industry, getting further ahead, becoming a more accessible community. However, it takes different functions, different engineers to talk and work together from different companies, and that it's not currently something that happens. Hopefully in the future, that will happen as we all work together to make an accessible nation.
The next question is, when will this presentation be available to watch again? Is there a YouTube link for the Sienna hybrid presentation?
Yep. So we will be putting a very thorough walkthrough of the new Toyota on YouTube shortly. My videographer is about done with that project. It's going to be like 10 minutes long, and it's going to go over every single one of those features that I shared today. So that will be a helpful resource, I think, when you're considering a purchase. I don't know if you know, Andrea, if we could just send that to you when it's done, and you can send it out to the broader group. I don't know the best way to share items with this group after the fact, but I'm happy to provide whatever we need. Otherwise, I did put our link to our YouTube videos on the chat so that you can just visit it periodically, and that's where it will be when we finish and launch it.
That sounds good, Zachary. If you could email it to us, to either me or Lubna or Jaspreet, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Perfect. Sounds good.
The next question is, do we anticipate more electrical vehicle options coming soon?
You know, I really hope so. One thing that we are finding is that as time goes by, vehicles are more and more difficult to convert, right? Some of you may have looked at the price of the Toyota that I put into the chat. And we're like, holy cow, right? Like the reality that we're starting to face is, yeah, vehicles are starting to come from Toyota, from Honda, from Chrysler, with a lot of technology. A lot of modifications need to be made, and it's becoming a very complex business to be in. Electric vehicles take that even to another level. I do very much desire to have an accessible electric vehicle. So before VMI, I was actually at Tesla. I worked for Tesla before VMI. So I'm very passionate about electric vehicles and do believe that they have a large, very important place in our future of the automobile industry. And so me as one of the product leaders at VMI, it is something that I'm looking forward to, and I'm working on to find a manufacturer or a way that we'll be able to do that. Then somebody also asked in the chat about like Toyota specifically, if they're working on an electric vehicle. You know, I sure hope so, because they are absolutely the most accessibility friendly manufacturer that we work with. I mean, you see it in their sponsorship of the Paralympic Games, right? Like they have their own suite of mobility products as well. So they do a lot for accessibility. And so if they do have one, you bet we're going to be working on that with them, and we'll bring it to the market as soon as we're able to.
Thank you, Zachary. I'm just going to read answering the pricing question that you had typed in, because I think somebody asked about the pricing.
Yeah.
42,890 for the 4-wheel drive, and that's how much that van costs.
Yep. So that's how much
American.
the conversion costs. Yep. And so then that's just added to the price of the chassis. So if you go to just Toyota's website, I would just go to Toyota Canada's website and look at the MSRP for the chassis. That's all that it is. So we just take the price, the United States price, and then we just add the exchange rate to it, and that is the Canadian price. So there's no other upcharge for Canada other than just the exchange rate itself. So when you combine the two of those together, that's where you get the total price. But it is the most advanced wheelchair van that's available on the market. The only other vehicle right now comparable in price is the accessible Traverse from Braun Ability. right? That's an SUV, but that is not all-wheel drive. So, for a comparable price, you can get all-wheel drive with the VMI Toyota at the same price as you would get a Traverse SUV from Mobility. So
Sounds good. Thank you,
great
Zachary,
question.
for that.
Yep.
For Tiffany, can you talk about how your products get approved for use in a specific make, model, and year of vehicle in Canada, so people understand the process and limitations on what vehicles your amazing products are compatible with?
That's kind of a super long answer, so I'm gonna try and make it very short. Basically, a lot goes into it. So first of all, we need to get our hands on a vehicle first. So if there's a new vehicle coming out that's been very popular, we get a lot of demands for it. We try and get our hands on that vehicle because we need to test it ourselves. We have our own research and development team here. And it's something that's been very challenging with the pandemic, is to be getting our hands on these vehicles. And I know a lot of people are having issues getting vehicles, especially newer vehicles. So this year and last year, the biggest challenge was actually finding these vehicles and bringing them in. And then once they get here, our research and development team get to work, and they kind of start testing and measuring, because like I mentioned earlier, that's why we don't have universal applications, because all of these vehicles are different. So the first step that we take when testing a vehicle is to see if it's the same body style as the year before. Because a lot of times what these vehicle manufacturers do is they change the outside, but the measurements on the inside are kind of the same. So if it's like that, we say, great, it's the same thing as last year, no problem. We test it just to double check and make sure, and then it's ready to go. And if not, if it's a whole new thing, like the new 2021 Sienna, it's a different body style than last year. So we just finished our testing for that about 2 or 3 months ago. So the research and development team really has to start from scratch, and they're going to be measuring. They need to be cutting things differently and literally need to create a new product every time almost, to make sure that it fits in there. And not just that it fits, but to test it. Is it going to get around the steering wheel? Is this too tight of a squeeze for people to be able to get through? Are there any different modifications that need to be done to accommodate this? Sometimes armrests need to be replaced or taken off. Like the new Pacifica, the armrest actually cannot make it around the steering wheel in the driver's position, which means we need to find a solution and offer a solution to clients. So really a lot goes into it, which is why it takes so long for us to actually get an application out there compatible with a certain vehicle. And sometimes our vehicles are just not compatible. But after that, we do testing, weight testing, crash testing, safety testing, lots of testing, lots of time, lots of money. But in the end, that's basically how we go about getting something out there.
Thank you, Tiffany. The next question is, does the Speedy Lift normally displace 1 or 2 passenger seats in a vehicle?
So normally it would be one person, one passenger seat. The only thing is that I know that some chairs are kind of, I also saw a question pop up at the same time. I can kind of answer at the same time in regards to manual and electric chairs. So basically the two things that we need to be careful of with the Speedy Lift and the chairs and compatibility. A lot of people call me and they have a certain chair and they say, oh, is this chair compatible? And I don't know, because I don't specialize in the chairs. I don't know anything about them. So the things that we need to be careful of is the weight restrictions and if it'll fit through the door. So if you have a chair for 2 people and it doesn't fit through the door, or it exceeds our weight restriction, then the answer is no. And in regards to the electric chairs and the manual chairs, it's been made for manual chairs, but I have a lot of people calling me now and saying that they have these new hybrid chairs coming out that's kind of a manual and electric chair together. They're super lightweight. They're like 45 pounds or something like that, and they're pretty small. They fit through the door. So those chairs Those chairs will be working well with the Speedy Lift. It's just the electric ones that are heavier, or like I said, the double chairs as well that aren't really necessarily going to fit through the door or are heavier than our weight restriction.
The next question is, can you help me with funding or financing? Who's able to answer that question?
I'll take that one on. Yeah, most definitely. There's different funding agencies. We can definitely help. The automotive consultants can help you with filling out applications for like March of Dimes, Easter seals. And when it comes to financing, we have a third-party financer who would be more than happy to work with you to see how they can get it so you get your accessible vehicle and have your independence.
Thank you, Luke. A question for Zachary. The Sienna also has a Sienna LTD badging. Is that equally possible to convert?
Yes, so we convert all of the different trims, except we do not convert the one with the rear DVD entertainment system because it takes a significant amount of headroom. But otherwise, we do convert all of those trims.
Thank you, Zachary. I think that is all. There's lots of questions. There's lots of comments, and in the chat box with our panelists have put in different email or web links to different things to look at in the chat box. It's been an excellent presentation, guys. I don't think there's any question that I missed. If there's any more questions, I think we answered them all.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Luke.
I noticed in the chat box, somebody asked or made a comment about full service stations. Shell, not too long ago, sent out brochures to Silver Cross Automotive, identifying that they have a group of Shell stores on their mobile app that you can contact them, let them know you're coming in through the mobile app, and they will actually come out and fill your vehicle for you. So Shell is definitely somebody thinking and being proactive to help those who are independent and need fueling. They're ahead of the game.
Also, that's great, Luke. There's not a lot of Shell stations around in the Kingston area where I live, but some of my volunteers have said that the Canadian Tire gas bars, they do the same thing. If you call ahead and let them know that you need assistance, they're more than happy to come out as well. But that's great that there's a full service app. I mean, it's great for people. I think that's it, everybody, for questions, unless somebody else has another question. It's been we had a great turnout today, so well done to everybody and the panelists and the organizing committee. There's been lots of great questions, and I was really impressed with all the different accessible vehicles, and I mean, there's really neat things out on the market for new people to see, and I think it's really great. And the video at the beginning of the show was awesome. I thought that it was a really good story, and it meant a lot to me. And driving is to get your independence back. And being a wheelchair user, I drive my vehicle, and it's nothing like, the best thing is to have a full tank of gas, and then you can go anywhere you want. So thank you to everybody that works in the accessible industry and gets everybody back on the road.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for doing the questions, Andrea. That was great. And so we would like to thank everyone for their questions, and Andrea for doing the Q&A with us. Presenters, if you are able to put any contact details in the chat for further inquiries, that would be great. But we would also like everyone to know that you are able to reach out to your local peer program coordinator to be matched with a peer mentor with any questions you might have regarding getting back on the road again and driving. So please do reach out to your coordinators. I would like to thank Luke Barrett, Zachary Shurtleff, and Tiffany Luchik for their very comprehensive and informative presentations today. Also, a huge thank you to our series sponsor, Silver Cross Automotive, our Part 2 sponsors, Vantage Mobility International and Adapt Solutions, as well as our provincial sponsor, IBC, Finally, thank you to all the organizations helping us share this series with the disability community across Canada. And please do join us 1 week from today for part 3 of our series as we delve once more into vehicle modifications with universal motion, as well as hear from your peers in the community about some of their more unique vehicles and modifications. They will also share many of the lessons they may have learned over their driving careers. Thank you to everyone who attended today, and we encourage you to provide us with your comments and feedback at events@sciontario.org. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their evening and see you for part 3.
Thanks, everybody. Pleasure.